What's going on, everybody? Today I have got a banger of a tactic for you guys. This week I have been non-stop testing to bring you guys a perfect 4-2-3-1, and it is perfect in its own way. And what I mean by that is that it has perfect team and total football cohesion within it. Every role can cover every area of the pitch, and every player can contribute in goals and assists. So if you'd like to give today's tactic a go, I'll be putting a link down below in the description to my Discord. That is where you're going to be able to download the tactic from within the download section. But now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's video. So today's tactic, I ended up testing with two teams. I tested with Fenerbahce as well as Crystal Palace. When I was originally doing this tactic, I was developing it with Crystal Palace, but I was like, you know what? With the rules that I have, this might fit Fenerbahce. So I decided to test with Fenerbahce, and it most definitely did very, very well with them. In one of the tests, they blew everyone away within the league and won the league on 94 points. Along with going and winning the Conference League as well. And from another test, they also won the league, but they also achieved a domestic treble by winning the league and the Cup and Super Cup. And when it comes to Crystal Palace, well, we know them as kind of the ultimate mid-table side, and this helped turn them in to a European side. Yes, that is right. We got Crystal Palace to finish 2 points off of Champions League football with this tactic. They're consistently finishing between 8th and 6th, so constantly either in the Conference League or the Europa League, and this time they were 2 points off of Champions League football. And also when they're able to, they are also pretty good at going on cup runs. But when it comes to contributions, when it comes to goals and the assists, how does it break down within the squad? We're first going to look at Crystal Palace and their output in both of those categories. The front four did a majority of the goal scoring for Crystal Palace. Adsone Edouard with 22, Mateta with 16, Elise with 14, and Eze with 10. And assist-wise, their two main players are the ones that came away with the most assists, those being Elise with 18 and Eze with 11. Now when it comes to Fenerbahce, they had quite a few players contributing goal scoring wise. They had 7 players with double-digit goals. And one with the most amount of goals was a 38-year-old Mr. Edin Dzeko. He had 40 goals in 37 matches. Then we have one of my favorite players, Sebastian Szymanski. He had 23. Cengiz Under with 18, Ryan Kent with 16, Batshuayi had 12 along with Dusan Tadic, and Leonardo Bonucci, even though he is a center back, he had 10. That is due to the set pieces that I was using with this tactic, which I have a video on those set pieces, and you can also download them from the download section of the Discord as well. I'll be linking the video down below in the description if you wish to check it out. And then when it comes to the assists, there were 6 players in double-digit assists. Ryan Kent and Dusan Tadic both had 19 assists. You have Cengiz Under and Rade Krunic, both with 14. Then you have Fredi Kagiogu and Bright Osai Samuel with 13 as well with both of them. Now, one thing that really impressed me with this Fenerbahce side was how dominant they were within the Conference League a majority of the time during these tests. However, in this particular test, they scored an absurd amount of goals in a very short amount of time. They scored 68 goals in the campaign that they ended up winning the Conference League. I mean, absolutely blowing away everyone else. I mean, the next highest was Shamrock Rovers on 38. They had 68. No one was touching them. But now we're going to take a look at the tactic and why it is able to score so many goals and have so many goal scoring opportunities. All right, so here we have the 4-2-3-1. It is not like one of my normal ones where I do it asymmetrically. It is as symmetric as can be. However, the role that it utilizes and the instructions that I have on them are going to have this playing a bit differently. So, one of the main ways that it does end up looking differently is in build-up. How does it build up? So, we know these inside forwards are like wide strikers, so they will be cutting inside to play with the striker, whether it be Batshuayi or Mr. Edin Dzeko. Our attacking midfielder, I'm instructing them to move into channels, and he kind of has free roam of what he wants to do because it's Mr. Sebastian Szymanski or Eberizi Eze, and I kind of want them to be able to dictate the offense. So they will kind of just pick pockets to move into. Say he is right here. That Segundo Volante arrives late. he'll be right up around here. These fullbacks, they're both going to be on support. The reason why I have them as fullbacks is because I kind of wanted them to operate not only as kind of like stay-at-home defenders, but also as wingbacks that can cut inside if need be, and that is one of the instructions that I do have on them. So the fullbacks, from time to time, they'll be out wide, or they might cut inside as well, letting the inside forward kind of drift a little bit out wide, let that segundo go inside instead. So it'll happen on this right side as well, so they might stay wide or might cut in. That inside forward can go up there, and the attacking midfielder can come in. Kind of looks a little bit something like this. That ball-winning midfielder, however, is going to come in and kind of act as like a sweeper in the offensive area, and then these ball-playing defenders come up as well. So as you can see, it is very, very potent in attack with the amount of numbers forward that you will have. And do not fret, it is still very, very solid defensively, even though it does look highly aggressive, very attacking. You'll have a lot of numbers forward. You're going to be scoring a lot of goals, so you don't really have to worry about the counter all too often. However, say you are getting countered or you are being attacked, how is your side going to line up in defense? Well, you're basically going to be in a 4-4-2 or a 4-4-1-1 a majority of the time. So these inside forwards are going to come down like so. Everyone's going to kind of sag a bit off towards your keeper, just like so. This attacking midfielder will either come off like this to allow that advanced forward to come back and it defends like a 4-4-2, or that advanced forward is going to stay up top. The attacking midfielder is going to be right here, and it's going to be like a 4-4-1-1. And like I said, this tactic kind of allows for total team football, total team play. It's absolutely fantastic to use. It's a lot of fun to watch. You're about to see that right now in some highlights. So if you're new to the channel, what I kind of do here is we show 2 matches with highlights in 2D, the 2D match engine, and then 1 within the 3D match engine that kind of, you get to see the full match play out and how dominant the tactic can be. So the first game that I'm going to be highlighting is actually a single goal within it, because it's going to highlight those fullbacks coming up on that wing, the ball playing defenders moving forward, being a part of that attack, and the inside forward, which is the eventual goal scorer, Mr. Ryan Kent, kind of showcasing how they are wide strikers in a lot of ways as the inside forward on attack. And the 3 players that you're definitely going to want to key on, because they're the 3 main players with the ball in this highlight, it is Mr. Shoyonku, who's number 2, then you have number 24, Mr. Jane Oosterwold, and number 11, Mr. Ryan Kent. Keep in mind, that goal was scored in the Conference League final against Fiorentina in a 3-0 win, and it proved right there they could do very little to stop that goal from happening. Now, the next match I'm going to highlight is a 3-0 win, once again in favor of Fenerbahce, but this time it is in the quarterfinal against another Turkish club, Besiktas. And what is unique about this match is that Fenerbahce goes a man down 7 minutes into the game, and they still win 3-0. It's absolutely fantastic. Just take a look for yourself. So, between those 3 goals, the first one was from a set piece, and like I said, they are pretty darn good, so if you wish to check them out, they will be available within the download section along with this tactic. But those other 2 goals are very, very important as well, because the second goal, once again, highlights Oosterwold out wide, the fullback, getting forward. Even though I instruct them to cut inside when need be with the ball, he's chose to stay out wide because he knew he had a better opportunity at whipping the ball in to the giant that is Edin Dzeko. But this third goal we're going to take another look at really quickly. Now, the reason why we're taking another look at this third goal is because it is scored by our Segunda Volante, Fred. And how the ball ends up getting to Fred is also very, very key in this moment. The ball playing defender is all the way up here. This is Jiku, one of our ball playing defenders. He's going to hit Cengiz Ünder. He is one of our inside forwards. You're going to see him go very, very wide. He's going to be around this area. He's then going to find a pass back into this area where they find the late arriving Segundo Volante Fred making his run, and Fred bangs in that third goal. And once again, all three of these goals were scored with 10 men, which they all were still able to perform to a very high ability with the roles that I had set for them. Now, the third and final match I'm going to highlight is within the 3D match engine. It is a Crystal Palace match where they end up beating Fulham by a score of 6-2. This is actually the inaugural game of the Premier League season as well. So they just literally outright dominate from the word go. You'll see a couple goals from the center backs. You're also going to see a couple goals from our strikers and wingers as well. So as we can tell from all these highlights, total football with total team play, it is the perfect marriage for a perfect 4-2-3-1. Speaking of, we're now going to get into the FM side of things, break down this tactic, and show you the player instructions on all the roles. So, the tactic file that you are going to be looking for is Gormy's 4-2-3-1 Arise. The tactic features an advanced forward on attack up top, 2 inside forwards on attack out wide. You got an attacking midfielder on attack at the number 10, a Segundo Volante on support with a ball-winning midfielder on support and defensive midfield. Then you have 2 full backs on support, 2 ball-playing defenders on defend, and a sweep keeper on defend. The advanced forward on attack up top was left as is. Both inside forwards on attack have crosses aimed at center and shoot more often. The attacking midfielder on attack has crosses aimed at center, roam from position, and move into channels. The Segundo Volante in support has take more risks, move into channels, and tackle harder. The ball-winning midfielder on support has take more risks. Both fullbacks on support have crossed more often, crosses aimed at center, sit narrower, and tackle harder. Both ball-playing defenders on defend were left as is, as was that sweeper keeper on defend. They were left unchanged as well. This tactic is played with an attacking mentality. I do think that you can definitely use a positive or balanced mentality with it as well, but you'll definitely get the most out of it with an attacking mentality. When we're in possession, we have fairly narrow attacking width. We play out from the defense, work the ball into the box using low crosses in the final third, shorter passing directness, and slightly higher tempo. When in transition, we counter press and counter. We distribute to the fullbacks and the center backs. And when out of possession, we have a high press line of engagement, higher defensive line, and more often trigger press. So when it comes to the level of ability kind of needed to play this sort of style and this tactic specifically, I think that the teams that I tested with show that you can use it with those elite type sides, those mid-table type sides, and potentially, and I definitely think you can, use it with those relegation type sides as well. It's just with those sides, you're definitely not going to get the output that Fenerbahce did. You're more likely to get a slightly worse off production than what Crystal Palace did, because Crystal Palace still did very, very well. That front four was incredible, but otherwise within that side, you're definitely going to need to kind of find some big time contributors in other areas to make sure that you can do what a Fenerbahce was doing and be able to finish where Crystal Palace finished, which once again was in European spots consistently. Now when it comes to tweaks with this tactic, it is going to be down to personal preference. One tweak that I would suggest making, and once again, this is down to personal preference, it is the mentality. If you want to be pretty aggressive with it, keep it on attacking. If you want to be a little bit safer, go positive. But if you want to kind of ensure your survival with your team, definitely go balanced. And then the only role that I would consider changing whatsoever is the attacking midfielder on attack. And this one, once again, is down to preference. Either have it as an attacking midfielder on attack, maybe even support as well, but also the advanced playmaker, once again, on support or attack, or the shadow striker on attack as well. Those three roles I think can all work very, very well within this tactic, if you choose to switch it, of course. But there we have it for today's video. Hope you all did enjoy. Once again, this tactic will be available within my Discord. The Discord link will be down below in the description. That is where you will be able to download it from. It will be in the download section of the Discord. And if you have enjoyed today's video, please feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is 100% free, so why not hit that sub button. Right now I'll be popping up my most recent tactic video, which is actually how to master the 4-2-3-1. So definitely make sure to check that out. But until next time, everyone, have a good one. Bye-bye.